Okay, so welcome back to Savvy Quirk Tarot and Astrology today. So I wanted to do a quick mini read for our collective. So collective basically meaning all signs in the zodiac. Usually consists of 3 cards, the current present, your recent past, and your guidance card or what your future holds. So we're going to do that with our main deck here. And then I already pulled 2 clarifiers. Take a second to meditate on what you are thinking about recently or concerned about, or what your question is, whether it be love, relationships, or career and finances, or just, general mental health in the current state of your mind right now. That would be great. And I also have the links below of what decks I'm using. I'm usually using the same 3 decks for the recent mini reads. So let's get started. The first card in your current present is the 4 of Cups upright. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. The second card in your recent past is the Emperor in upright. I've been pulling the Emperor quite a bit in upright for some reason in all different decks. So I'm really feeling the Aries season vibe very strongly. So it's definitely a lot of planets in Aries right now, and that is affecting everybody in any shape or form. And our third card in the near future is Justice in reverse. So already off the bat, you do have 2 major arcanas flanking the 4 of Cups. This is a massive message for a lot of you, and take it as it resonates. But I think there is a lot of missed opportunities that you're possibly regretting at this time. And there's a lot of looking backwards with the 4 of Cups here. You're saying a lot of no's to people. You're not socially obligated, and you don't feel that way towards a lot of either acquaintances or people who aren't your nearest and dearest at this time. And that's okay. There's a lot of people that are they're a little bit overwhelmed by the state of the world and the way they're coping, and everybody has different coping mechanisms. And some of them are, escapism, for one, using TV watching or reading, going out and shopping. That's always kind of a type of escapism, and that's something that society really accepts. It's not really looking at it negatively. It's just it is a form of a different outlet. So there are more healthy habits you can develop, certainly. I mean, I'm not to be judgy or anything, but in terms of health reasons, a lot of people do want to pursue, more high vibrational, like exercise, detoxing, and meditation. But in this sense, I feel some of you, possibly a lot of your water signs, dealing with a lot of, apathy at this time. So it's saying no. The traditional picture or illustration for 4 Cups is the person is sitting down and refusing the cup that is offered to them, and they're just kind of disinterested. It's not terribly worrisome at this time. I think it just depends on what is it that you're rejecting. So let's take a closer look. In your recent past, you have the Emperor, and it's for a lot of you, I believe this is a leadership position. So either you're you're owning it in basically any area of your life that you're doing right now. So whether it be for leisure or business, you're definitely at the helm, or you're helming basically your own business or your own decisions, and you're not letting anyone compromise with you on those things. So you might be a very absolute, what goes like mandated, goes for you, and you're not really taking any suggestions at this time, which can be good and bad at the same time. With a lot of Aries influences at this time, there could be a tendency to grow a little bit more stubborn in the way you decide things. So, for example, if you're a person who usually goes with the flow, and you have a lot of fire signs and air signs, and you're taking action at this time in Aries, especially with Mercury in Aries, there's a lot of impulsiveness attached to things that people do or decide. Kind of either they're taking too much action and not thinking it through, or they're driven too much by their baser instincts. So, I mean, wink, wink, it could be like a physical relationship that you haven't really thought through, thinking that this person will be fine for now, and you're not dating seriously, but there's a long-term cause and effect to all the decisions that you make right now that you probably don't see. So I pulled my own messages. out of my own deck at this time, and I put a personal message for a lot of you, and I think this fits very well. It's the tunnel vision message. Here's my janky handwriting. But this means that a lot of you are at this time feeling that, you know, this is your way or the highway kind of vibe right now. So you're taking in effect a lot of self-discipline as well. This is not just something that you've decided on a whim exactly, but it's just, it could be inefficient combined with impulsiveness that could cause some issues of misunderstandings. People having, you know, being closer to you, people who have closer relationships to you might feel that you're very narrow-minded at this time. And, you know, if you want truth, this is kind of it. So they're like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I think you need to hear this, and I don't know if you want to hear this. So there's a lot of that going on, because Aries in the Mars setting, in the Mercury setting, there's definitely a sense of bluntness, a Queen of Swords, King of Swords kind of atmosphere at this time. So tunnel vision, watch for that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we pull one of these clarifiers and they turn out to be a sword suit, because I definitely think that this is something that everybody's dealing with right now, and it really doesn't affect just one person. It kind of affects everyone collectively, and there's a lot of decision making where it's very concrete and black and white. You don't miss the gray areas as much as you used to. So say, you know, compared to Mercury in Pisces, there was probably a lot of kind of indecision, but at this time you're kind of doing overkill. It's kind of an overdrive where you're just pounding out the decisions, but you're not really thinking them through. Okay, so let's clarify why the Emperor is here. So with the Emperor here, look at that. It just, I just called it. The sword here this is actually in reverse. This is the Ace of Swords in reverse. So with the Ace of Swords in reverse, clarifying the Emperor, I'm seeing for some of you, again, not everyone will feel this, but there's something that you wanted to pursue, sorry about the fire alarm, ignore that, that you wanted to pursue and make plans for. This is something that requires planning strategically. With the swords here, it is a basic idea that you've come up with, whether, you know, business or personal relationships. Something that has begun may have missed the mark. So either you or the other party have kind of dropped the ball on something. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you found someone on a dating app or something, you reached out to them, you kind of talked for a little bit, and then someone was like, let's meet up, you know, when, you know, everybody's, you know, more out in the open, and the state of the world is better, and, you know, everything is going really well. The weather's nice, you know, parks are reopening, let's meet up. So you may have made this kind of promise to someone, and then what happened was you kind of forgot, like plumb forgot everything about this person. And you kind of, you might have just had their contact in your phone for a long time, and it just never happened. But this might be someone that, you know, is valuable in your whole outlook on things. It could have been a person who, you know, even if it wasn't like a potential romantic partner, it could have been someone who was very helpful in helping you furthering your business or your family issues, and, you know, helping you deal with something. You know, they could have been a professional, like a lawyer, or someone who was going to become a close acquaintance. So not quite like absolute best friends, but someone valuable and motivational in your life. So you may have missed the mark in meeting this person by not taking some sort of action. So with it in upright, you're making the action right away, and with it down here, it's reversed. So with the Emperor here, what I think is going to happen, and we'll take a look at your future guidance cards and then also pull some messages here. There's going to be a few of you who are going to become more aware of this once the Aries influences kind of go to the wayside. Right now, you're kind of just go, 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 and you're not really looking at the details. So again, I said this in another reading, but you're kind of not looking at the forest for the trees. You're not focused on details. And while that could be detrimental as well, this actually could aid you in running through, you know, your entire Rolodex of people that you know. You may have missed someone in that process. And, you know, just be careful of what you decide to do at this time. So before you do something, maybe plan it out strategically in your head, write it out, use a planner or something, and then kind of go back and look at that, keeping a journal, doing something that helps you remember what or whom you've come in contact with. Okay, so I'm going to leave that here. And then let's clarify justice in reverse. So a lot of you at this time could be dealing with a Libra, could have some Venus influences, and what I mean by that is a lot of people might be affecting your Venus position at this time. So if you have fire signs in Venus, like especially Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, I just forgot like the last one, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo Venuses, you'll be affected by kind of this planetary influence at this time. A lot of you may have been affected in a way where you're a lot more energized in your personal life. You're a lot more apt to take action and pursue someone or something that you really desire. And they could be even things that you never really looked at once before, or people you haven't really taken another look. That phrase kind of, that person was in front of you all along, that kind of applies here. I feel like this is something that there's an imbalance of kind of a perception shift that needs to take place. Again, going back to that tunnel vision statement, this could apply to a lot of you in a collective sense where you're feeling like warm and cozy Venus vibes, and they're affecting you in a good way, in a positive way, where you feel accepted by your friend group or circle, and you're getting a lot of support, whether from family or just people that that you consider your family. But what happens is with this reference point that you do have tunnel vision, because there is a kind of unaccountability for the things that you do or say at this time. And with that said, you do have to watch what you promise people again, and not take people for granted either, in a way where, everything's hunky-dory and everything's fine, but, maybe there is some sort of thing you mistook or overlooked. And I want to emphasize, not overlooking the details. Again, if you decided something too rashly and now you're kind of backpedaling, that's kind of on you at this point. So again, that's another type of imbalance that we need to kind of keep in check mentally when we're dealing with others. And then the clarifier for the justice in reverse is actually the fool in reverse. So I thought this is kind of interesting to me. I sometimes pull clarifiers and they become like major arcanas, both clarifying. And in that sense, I do want to pull another clarifier card just to further clarify why the Fool and the Justice is in reverse. So let's do that right now. So Spirit Guides, let's see, why is the Fool and Justice in reverse at this time? Okay, we're going to pull from the bottom of the deck. Oh my. So it's another Major Arcana card, and it's the Empress in Upright. All right, so we're going to keep going. Let's actually shuffle a couple more times. Now I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. I'm so kind of on the edge of my seat right now. This is rarely ever happens, so I mean, I guess it's good timing that this happened for collective. If you're kind of dealing with major issues at this time, it does call for more cards to come out. Okay, so I just pulled out the Queen of Wands here after 3 times in shuffling, and it's in upright. So with this clarifying the Empress right now and the Fool in reverse, I'm seeing someone who is really focused on creation, and with the Empress and the Queen of Wands here, both in upright, this combination is actually for someone who's highly artistic and working very hard to create something of their own doing. So this probably tends to be someone who, has used their art or their craft to form a business, or they own a jewelry shop or something along the lines where they're doing everything. They're producing, they're creating, they're marketing. Everything is kind of a one-woman show or one-man show, depending on what you're doing. So it could be anything. And this doesn't have to be a woman. It could be non-binary. It could just be more a feminine type of craft, where there's a lot of intuition and creation involved in these traits, but it doesn't have to be a male or female, or it's non-gender related. But this is someone who, with the Fool in reverse, kind of have a misstep in the way they started out things. So it could have been on an accident, and a total accident, that they came across this opportunity, but it's kind of taking a little bit more time to fully suss it out. So what I mean by that is a little bit of a false start in this way. So there could be some delays in getting something formed, or getting investors on board, or it could be someone who's partnering with a friend or colleague that they want to kind of break out and do their own business together. This time in our world, there's a lot of people forming partnerships with others that they've worked with before, that have particular traits and talents that they don't have. So, someone who is very artistically driven could have a vision, but the vision is not supported by, budgets, and someone who has accounting or bookkeeping skills. So this person might be kind of trying to do it on their own, but they could probably benefit. Again, we're going back to the recent past, someone who may have kind of missed the mark on, contacting that one person that could have helped them take off. They could be overlooking someone who could help them out in a very big way. And this is like a long-term partnership, whether it be personal or business. I'm seeing this more as someone who has a business, or even if you have a romantic partnership, this person could have been both. They play two roles, or dual role, in becoming someone who is a confidant and also a business partner. Okay, so let's pull let's pull a daily crystal inspiration card and messages of love as well. And for love, it could just be anything platonic or a romantic in this sense. Okay, one fell out. So trust. It is safe to trust in this situation. Okay. So it's interesting that you have trust here, because I had pulled another personal message beforehand, before pulling all the cards out for the spread. And it says bending the truth. So trust and truth here, major themes in this whole collective read. Some of you are bending the truth when it comes to dealing with people. I think it's just to push away kind of the details again. You're kind of just wading through the details very quickly to get to what you want. So you're kind of getting to the bottom of it. In your own perception, you think that you're getting things done, but in doing that, there's a consequence. Because of this whole Aries season issue, you're kind of bending the truth and not facing it head on with a lot of people. And I'm seeing this more as an emotional issue. So it's not like you're flat out lying to people, but you are telling like white lies and not really facing the issue. Simple example of, having a misunderstanding with a sibling or something, a sister or brother. You may have said something and you were like, oh, I don't really care what you do, just let me know. But, in that sense, you're not telling them the truth about what you're feeling. So you're not obligated to, probably out of responsibility or guilt, you're not telling them what you really think about the situation. Whether or not it's bending the truth to protect yourself, or you think that you're protecting others by hiding the truth from them, bending or hiding the truth in the situation, in the collective way, it's not going to help you later on. It's going to actually be harmful. And the more you do it, the more complicated things get. And you're just going to be like, I don't know what I said or did to make this person upset with me. And it could be someone who, really sought out your advice, or really trusted in your advice or support at this time. And you kind of gave them false hope. So please watch out for that. And then one more again for the collective, maybe for a future guidance here with Justice in reverse, and the Empress, Fool, and the Queen of Wands. So intuition, you already know the answer you seek. So a lot of you, definitely with the Empress and the Queen of Wands here, some of you may have children. If the Empress hints to kids at this time, maybe it has something to do with childcare. But if you're running a business or partnering with others in relation to things that are more creative, you do need to use your intuition at this time. But in in doing that, you do have to do a lot of planning and not just a lot of action. Again, we're going back to the collective here and saying there is a lot of forest for the trees, things that you might need to tend to. While that could be detrimental for some people, like, you know, a Virgo can't be over detailed. They could miss a lot of the big picture. This is a lot to do with focusing too much on the big picture and not on the smaller details, where you're actually going to benefit from paying attention to details, but you got to use your intuition to do so. So this is not just logical or intellectual things. You have to kind of listen to what you feel is the best course of action. There is a lot of balance involved, and with the Justice in reverse here, it is also calling you to balance out your emotions with your actions. And, you know, whether that is seeking out more advice from people, it really does depend on the way you interact with others. If you think that at this time you should go within yourself to find more answers, do that. Whether you need to meditate or write it out, or, you know, weigh the pros and cons. But if this is something to do with a partnership where you have to interact with others, or you have life partners that you need to consult, then you should do that and take steps accordingly to get to a compromise, and not just, you know, again, if you're kind of in the emperor mode, you're just your way or the highway, that kind of thing. I'm not quoting like Frank Sinatra or anything, but there's a lot of issues here where you have to listen to other people at this time, not just compromising for the sake of doing that, but like actually taking their decisions and incorporating them into your life. I think the active word here is taking people into consideration. Okay, so one more card for Daily Crystal Inspiration. So let's do a crystal inspiration for the collective. And if we need to pull 3, we can do that. But let's see what the first one gives. Oops, something wanted to pop out. Okay, so agate, get back into balance. Did I call it or what? I mean, this whole theme is in balance, justice in reverse, trust, intuition. These are all pointing to something that you need to refocus on. So I think another key word here is to refocus and get back into balance. So just like a camera, you know, it's not focusing on something, you're kind of looking at the background and you're not looking at what is in front of you, not focusing on someone's, other people's opinions or decisions, only just striking out on your own and doing your own thing. It's going to lead to a lot of consequences that you're not going to see coming. So definitely getting back into balance with people around you and tending to those personal relationships. Trusting people, having more intuition to guide you, not just action. It's going to turn out better for you at this time. All right, so I hope this helped everybody. And if you'd like to see more mini reads, or I'm going to do another series that involves travel. I really like the concept of slow traveling at this time. So we're going to maybe do a pick a card series where we're going to involve something to do with recent travel, months or a year down the road. So subscribe and like if you enjoy these messages, and we'll see you next time. Bye.